I want to just apologize for not making a video for like a whole year or something. It's always something I could have done, but I didn't make a video for like a whole year. But I'm making a video now, and so much has happened in the last year. Well, I want this video to be more about economy and just what I've understood about the Lord's word comparing economy in the last year. Well, I don't know if you guys know much about economy, but if you understand what repo markets are and forex, capital gains, housing prices, I live in Las Vegas. So the Raiders are coming, property values up. This is always a place to make money. But in a nutshell, I just want to talk about my overall experience about what's going on in the last year. Just overall in the last 10 years. Well, I'm invested. I do hold assets in property, precious metals. I do hold a portfolio, emergency funds. I'm debt free. Well, I just want to make this video quick and short. The Lord said in one of his parables, I'm paraphrasing, to the guys that he gave money to, three three men that he issued money to. I don't quite remember the story, but I'm paraphrasing. One, he gave more money. The second, he gave less money. I don't know if it was a third and then a fourth. I don't quite remember. I didn't look it up. But another, he gave like one money to, and he told him, the good master told the guys to go out and prosper. So one brought back, the one he gave a lot brought back a lot of money. The second he brought back gave a little more money, but he still made a profit. And the last he gave money, the least amount of money to, and he went and he hid his money because he didn't have confidence in bringing back a profit. Well, the story that the Lord gave he is spiritual. Jehovah is spiritual. And the story that he gave had a spiritual meaning. It just wasn't a meaning about your lazy. I mean, yes, all that's included, but there's more to the story. And the story is not necessarily have to do with money. It could be anything. The Lord gave you something to do. And he told the man that he gave the servant, I won't say man, but he gave the servant the money to, he said, you are lazy. You could have at least put it in the bank and made interest. What the Lord is saying is, even if you didn't know how to make money, if you didn't know how to do anything, you could have at least asked for help. And help is more profitable than hiding and not doing anything and being lazy. Just like the parable about the man who wanted to destroy his barn and build bigger, and the Lord said, you fool. It's not about necessarily sharing. Yes, it is about sharing. But the point of that parable is spiritually, the man lost sight of the Lord in doing the Lord's work. Not just sharing. He could have shared the big barn and brought more people in. It's a lot of things that guy could have done. But instead, he built it for himself. And that's where he lost sight. He didn't think about sharing. Let's just keep it at that, because there's a lot of ways that the man could have shared. Well, anyway, what I want to get to is back to the parable. The Lord said you could at least put it in a bank. And people, I just want to say, even if you don't know how to make a profit, the Lord gave us plain sight. You could have at least put your money in a bank. You can at least ask for help. And what I mean is, people, we have to give 10%. 10% to the church. You got to give 10%. This church. Whose church? Is it the Lord's church? Because the Lord's church is those that keep his commandments, repented and baptized. That's his church. His church is his followers, his keepers of his commandments. Well, I put the Lord's money. I did an experiment and I followed his parable. his offering in a separate bank account strictly for him, and over the last 2 years, and the interest, the money that I put in has been gaining interest. It's been gaining quite a bit of interest, and it's on a maturity date. Well, following his parable, his way has gained him lots of money, because I'm gonna eventually, when it matures, I'm gonna cash it out, and I'm gonna render the offering over to the local assembly. I said, wow, that's good financial advice. Well, to make a long story short, there's only a few minutes left. I want to talk about other interests I made, other gains that I made on my investments. My comic books, my comic book collection. Yeah, I'm a comic book collector. My comic book collection has outperformed in value, capital gains, the stock market. That's right. My comic book collection has gone up 300% overall this year. My comic book collection. I have other investments. Gold has gone up. If you guys are into palladium, I'm just throwing out economic advice. This isn't, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm none of that. I'm just saying what is. Well, anyway, I want to explain to you, with all this comes down to this one thing I want to explain to you. And a lot of people, the world has spoke to us that we took in over time is the word iniquity. Yes, iniquity. I'll let you guys look up the word. You can read it in this word. I recommend the King James. You can read whatever, but if whatever you read, I recommend you go back to the King James. That I do give advice on. Well, anyway, the word iniquity. Here's iniquity. I've never looked it up myself, and one day it just hit me. I was reading, and I was reading Proverbs 1, where King Solomon speaks about giving to those who keeps the Lord's commandments. The fool despises the Lord, but those that fear the Lord will understand knowledge and understanding. King Solomon said, those that fear him and keep his commandments will, in Proverbs chapter 1, wisdom will be given to him for justice, judgment, and equity. Equity is the gain of value. To understand, to gain equity, to understand a proverb, to understand a parable. The two are spiritual, with a spiritual meaning. One is of the Old Testament and one is of the New Testament, proverbs and parables. Well, equity is value gained. Iniquity is pronounced wrong. It should be pronounced inequity. Inequity is devalued. You are worthless. You have no value. You are inequity. Why would the Lord want you if you have no value to him? Your inequities, your sins, your wrongs. You have a debt. I need you to have equity, like King Solomon said. Wisdom and equity. God is growth. God is love. He is abundance. If you understand the Lord and keep his commandments like he said, you will gain equity. If you want to build your life financially, spiritually, I recommend that you keep his commandments, keep his judgments, keep his ways. And like he said in his parables, his proverbs, many of them, keep him first. You keep him first and keep his way, he will grow your wallet. Read up on economics. Ask him what economics is. I mean, after all, this is all his creation. This is all his world. Ask him about, how do I profit? How do I become more valuable? It's very easy. It's not hard. Start reading financial articles, MSN Money. I'm put up more videos throughout the year, but I just wanted to put this out there. There's plenty of money to be made, but in in perspective, also keep in understanding that nothing's guaranteed, nothing lasts forever. The material that's made down here has nothing to do with him up there. This is all just earth. This is showing you that you keep his way. You are blessed by him. Keeping him, he will give you these things, not your own work. I just want to just put that share out there. Study these parables and proverbs and be blessed. I'll see you all again shortly. A few more videos this year. Take care.